Okay, we're gonna pull this thing down there and walk through it. I love these things. We changed it a little bit. We've always made them for a long time, going all the way back to the 70s, but then, you know, they've kind of become popular again. So we made a couple of changes to them, made some updates, and gave it a name. So yeah, that's our cabinet canopy. But let's go and walk through this thing. Pull this thing down, and then maybe we'll go through that one that's backing in there too. It'd be pretty sweet. All right. Nice little truck here. Oh, I guess his camera's not on. He's gonna have to move that. All kinds of nice little builds. Look at that little guy. That's a nice setup. Old T100. Well, maybe that's just after the T100. Anyway, let's focus on this build. He's gonna have to get out of my way. That's where I wanted to park. Man, a little bit of everything in here. Gee whiz. All right, in there.
I'm gonna put these on there.
Yeah, don't lose those. Okay, let's walk through this. The Yukon. There's a bunch of different shapes. Okay, so this one's an upgraded one. It's gone wider, all kinds of stuff. But what is it? It is very similar to our cab over canopy, but it's just smaller, more practical, fits on the truck a little tighter, cleaner. This one right here is what I would consider the most upgraded cabinet canopy that we make. So the most upgraded Yukon that we make. It's got an electrical system in it, it's awning, propane system in there. It's got a bunk down here. This bunk folds down, and we'll do this in a second. Folds down once, folds down again, sets over here on this ledge, and then there's a room in here for a porta pot. That where you can use the porta pot at night, even though the whole space is full, and that's a full-size mattress. It's got a battery system in it. It's got solar up top. We'll run up there and look at it. It's got a little water jug on the wall, just like the fishhook model. So yeah, let's just jump into it and look it over. But before we go into this, I will show you what the base model is. I've got one of them on the floor right now. The more traditional, cabinet canopy that most people get. Let's go in here. This right here, I love this build. We'll do a video on this one too, but yeah. I gotta change that door. Unfortunately, they don't have black right now. All right, let's run in here. Okay, a little messy here in the shop, but they're in the middle of transition and focusing and building. So right there, that is the typical cabinet canopy. Now the Yukon. Man, that thing looks sweet. That is for a long bed Ford. Okay, figured we'd do a little bit of house cleaning there. All right, so this is the base model. It has the roof rack, which is an upgrade, but this is the most traditional. It's just a shell. Okay, it's got the lift up door. You saw the one outside has got the double doors. So right here, this right here is a 48 inch. So he increased the height. The base price comes with it at 42 inch. So down just a little bit, about 6 inches shorter, right? And then it's at the width of the base rail in the front. This is going on an F250 long bed. And so it is 75.5 inches wide at the front. Fords are the widest at the front. So then it's built square. It's not tapered with the bed. Many of you know, some of you don't, that truck beds are tapered. So they're wider in the front than they are in the back. So this is set to the front width of the base rail or bed rail on the truck. Then the cab over there, some folks don't necessarily want this portion from here forward being a full 36. Some folks like it shorter. It's not super common to go the full 36 depending on the little truck or the type of truck it's going on, but I think it's good to go 36. It doesn't make a bit of difference on price. We do either 21 or 36 in the same price. It's just a matter of saving weight. It does not change the price. So a lot of folks do go down to the 25 inch range, but that's all personal preference. Here's the one thing that would affect that. When you come inside here, and you're standing here inside the truck bed. Now this is up on 26-inch sawhorses plus the rolling casters. Usually the truck bed is about right here, okay? So sometimes it's hard to reach everything all the way in the front because 36, though it seems small, it's actually pretty big. It's a lot of space. This is a 13-inch clamp ring. You can see it's all the way in the front there. So that gives you a perspective on the space. But yeah, now this is on a F-250, and Fords have got the tallest cab. So the distance off the bed rail of the truck up to here is really tall on a Ford. So that's where you want to think about maybe increasing your ceiling height a little bit, because you don't want that to become a narrow tunnel. In this case, like on a Chevy, the one outside, the cab's about 2 inches, 2.5 inches shorter than on a Ford. And in some cases, Chevys and Dodges are about 3+ inches shorter than a Ford cab. So just something to pay attention to there. Not much of a difference, it's just something to think about dimensionally. But you can see it's just a blank shell, and then this is reinforced down here. So the base price you see there on the website for these is for the lift-up door style in white with the black trim, no roof rack, and 42 inches high. Whichever bed length, that doesn't matter. It's as wide as the front bed rail of your truck. So if you're on a Tacoma, that's 64 inches. If you're on this, it's 75. And then it doesn't matter here what you do. You can go 21 or 36 on the base price. That comes with the stationary window, right, on the front, one slider on each sidewall, and then a stationary window in your lift-up door right there. Okay, that's your base price. Now, also in the base price, you can change where these windows go. You can change the window itself. There are a certain number of windows you can have us do in there that we have in stock, and we're not going to change the price. It's fine, doesn't matter. Some people add windows up here or wherever. We'll never put a window on the front wall or lights on the front wall. That is a guaranteed leak and failure in the future. So that's something we don't do. And with 5-year warranties, that's important. Now he did the 3-member roof rack here. Now let's go outside and see the contrast on one that is completely upgraded.
Keys for that.
All right. Okay. This thing is obviously shorter. This is on a 6.5 foot Chevy pickup box, and this is a 2017 Chevy. How do you like our corner protector there? Anyway, it's in the way of my video. But he went with an awning on the side, propane. That's a 20-pound bottle that goes in there. Then you can see he went a little wider here. Now when you go wider, you have to change the structure of the unit, because your unit's going to get heavier, but the reason why you change the structure is because all your weight is hanging out over here. You need your weight to sit here if you're going to do that base model price inside, because the truck bed is going to absorb the majority of that weight, right? And it's going to transfer it right into the bed. But on this one, it's just hanging out here. So you go thicker with what we call our base rail. I'll show you inside. This base rail right here, instead of being 1 inch, goes up to 1 5/8 inches. And then the front corners up here are gusseted with steel, flat stock. Okay, and what that does is it ties that whole corner together, and then this carries out all the way, and then this front wall is a lot stronger, and then your side wall also is slightly changed as well. On the one inside right here on the base rail, you probably saw that aluminum. You can rewind and look at that aluminum that ties the corner to reinforce that smaller base rail. Okay, so there's just little cost differences when you change the structure. And again, with a 5-year warranty, we want to make sure that structure is going to hold up for you and be more than strong enough. Now, all of these have got the 3-inch roof, okay? The 3-inch on the cabinet canopy. They're the same now. These are some of the upgrades we've done to this. They're all the same now as on our slide-in campers. They're all 3-inch ceilings. Very important. Solid foam. That makes this whole roof way lighter. This whole roof on this particular unit is probably about 45 or 50 pounds. So it's, by definition, a structural panel. It's solid foam, no wood framing. It's got 1/2 inch, so it's walkable. You can have about 1,200 pounds of snow load up there, and it's not gonna destroy this roof. So, very important. All right, let's run outside again. He went with, this is 71 inch high from the floor to the ceiling there, 71 inch off the bed rail or off the floor of the pickup box here. Okay, then, so that's a 50-inch high wall, so that's 8 inches higher than our standard than the base model on here. He also went with a 36-inch because he's gonna throw his daughter up in there, and he and his wife are gonna be on that bunk that we're gonna go over here in a minute. These are the double doors he added. You can see that the entire back end of this unit changes when you go to the double doors. For him, he brought this in narrower. Typically, if you go to double doors, this is about this wide. But he decided to go narrower with this because he added the counter. And on the counter, you need a certain amount of depth for all of your fixtures and everything there, right? But usually, like on this side, it's a narrower gap. You see how it's wider over there? A little goofy, I know, but then the next thing he did is he put in this furnace. Usually we have a furnace door, but this is the particular furnace that he wanted. It's way oversized for this little thing. It's a 20,000 BTU propane furnace. More than big enough. Everybody does something different when it comes to heat for this particular unit style. Gas heaters, much like gasoline heaters, much like the S-Bar and Webasto and Planer, actual diesel heaters, but the gas version is a good fit for this, but you just have to solve the fuel source, right? Okay, now let's go up and look at solar there. He went with the Zamp 190 watt solar panel right there. Okay, that is a good amount of power for this little thing. He also went with a Dometic vent. That is a 1450, the 3-speed and directional. We can open up this awning probably at the show this weekend and maybe do another video. But today I've got a gentleman waiting on me, so I need to go and work with him. But we'll do that on another video. Now inside here, this is the counter. This is 42 inches off of the floor of the pickup box here. So that gives you an idea. In your house, usually you're down at 36 down here. So it's a little taller, but that's so that you can fit your propane tank in here and all your other stuff, right? And have enough room for it. You have enough room for a drawer, your battery in here. This is a salt silicate, so the 150 amp hour, which is about double what most campers have that have a simple 2700 series. Then behind here is the fuse and breaker panel. So your little fuse block, you can see all your breakers and everything. Basically your 12 volt distribution. Then right here, this is the solar panel. And many of you guys know we like the Go Power. It's just 30 amp. It's more than enough for this size system. Keep it simple. Then right here is the battery disconnect switch that turns all of the lights on in here. And then he didn't need this, but it looks like he went with it anyway. And then this is your furnace thermostat, but obviously there's no propane. This one, he wanted the Flame King 2-burner. This sucker goes here and here, splash shields, and just kind of sets like that. Then he wanted the water jug up here. And so many people have asked us about these. Where do these come from? What are these? These we fabricate here. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what that is. I addressed that because lots of folks, you never know what people are going to end up wanting to know about. This right here, he can put a little, if you wanted to put a jug under here, which is what we've done for years, is we've put a jug underneath there with the rocker pump faucet. But you could also do the new Dometic battery faucet. It's a little easier to use. You just stick the same hose down, stick it in the top of the jug or something, or onto a valve like we have over on the Instagram channel there. You can go and see it. There's of how we do it. It's got the little valve at the bottom where you turn it and you hook up your faucet and everything, and then it draws out of the jug. But yeah, this sink drains out the wall like many of them and just goes into a bucket. But yeah, that's basically this unit. He wanted a little cabinet up top there, and then a place to hang his gear, maybe some waders or something. They can drain out here onto the ground. You can still spray this thing out when you're done, or out doing whatever. I'm not really crazy how the guys did this. This needs to be done like we do our scent straps, where it's a metal plate, a little stronger. But this folds down. Let's go ahead and open up this leg. Push this down. Out. There. So you can have just a half bed, or you can go ahead and you can throw your mat up top on top of that. This thing folds out right there. And then you have a nice big mattress, but then you still have a spot here where you can throw the porta pot at night, right? And have room. He's thinking about having a slide right here that comes out to where his feet don't dangle. But yeah, this right here is 74 inch. So pretty long, you know, it's not a full, most bunks like this are 72 inches. And then it looks like he went with a double slider as well on the front. That's kind of nice for basic airflow if you don't want to open your side windows. But mosquitoes, here in Alaska you deal with mosquitoes, and this one doesn't have a net, whereas these do, right? Both of the side windows have nets. But then these will get our usual curtains in here if he wants them. That'll get the curtains for like we have on the fish hook and in that Yukon Model over there. But yeah, this is it. So about as upgraded as you can get a little cabinet canopy. It doesn't get more upgraded than that unless you start putting racks on the side, maybe some roto packs and ladder and just gear and stuff. He's got a little pod light up here. Runs on the switch right here. There it is. That is the Yukon, formerly our cabinet canopy. Love that little thing. It looks good on that truck. And then the colors here as well. That comes in base price is white, but then you can switch to this for, I mean, it's not very much money. I think it's like under 300 bucks. And then the gray. I don't recommend doing black in this size unit just because of oil canning and heating up, and you just get a lot of rippling in the skin. So I like these two other colors, like the one inside and then this one. Anyway, guys, I hope that was helpful and answered some questions. But love these things. All right, cheers. Catch you on the next one.